3-minute rounds. The gloves are 10 ounces. And Anthony Joshua weighs like 250 pounds. So I'm not really sure how this is going to end up happening. But this is one of those. Normally, I don't give credit to the Paul brothers. And, I give them credit for being great on social media and creating a lot of buzz for the sport. I give him credit for getting in the round with Anthony Joshua. This is not like a Mike Tyson fight where Tyson's 60 years old.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Let's take a look at a couple of narratives here and play a good game of fade or not fade. And first up, well, the idea that the Chiefs are going to put it all together and win the AFC West, well, that's absolutely gone. Absolute fade from this point on, Donnie, with the Chiefs. Their 10-year reign is over. It's done with.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on Sport.
And welcome in. It is In-Game Live Game Day on a marvelous Monday evening. Scott Wetzel and Gabriel Morency for the next 3.5 hours or so till the end of the Monday Night Football game. We got the Miami Dolphins and the Pittsburgh Steelers squaring off. Pittsburgh still alive. Dolphins mathematically alive, but for all intents and purposes, with what happened yesterday, they're all but eliminated, but still mathematically alive. So I suppose we could say we got 2 teams with playoff hopes on the line tonight. Certainly both need to win. A little bit more for the Dolphins than the Pittsburgh Steelers, fighting off the Baltimore Ravens for the AFC North Division Championship. So we got that. Couple of NBA, couple of hockey games, 1 or 2 maybe college basketball games, but really not much on the college basketball slate. But still enough things that we could put a couple shekels on and hopefully make some money before we are through. But before we get to it all, game time. What's betting you off tonight, Gabe?
Well, we're ready to rock. Big weekend in the National Football League this weekend. Finally, the NFL sort of lives up to its hype, and these games are getting real right now. But pretty much everything that everybody says in the media has sort of upset me over the last couple of days. The low-hanging fruit with every sports take out there, including tonight about blah, 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 the Miami Dolphins haven't won when it's cold, and they're owing this and they're owing that. It's interesting that the point spread is 3 points right now, right? It's not 10. Yeah. It's not 13. It was 3.5. So for every Johnny Jackass out there that's going to throw at us how cold it is and the Dolphins never win, well, go and bet it because the sports books are begging you to at -3 right now.
Yeah, I am surprised about that. I have to say, that's where I'll lead off with our opening pickoff tonight. I'm going to be all over the Pittsburgh Steelers. It doesn't make sense as far as the point spread. You're right. I mean, you can't make a logical case for the Miami Dolphins when you know their history. 2 with tags, 0-5 in temperatures 40 degrees. Forget about freezing. Not even, 38, 37, 36 degrees. 40 degrees or less, he's 0-5. The franchise is 11-30 in temperatures 32 or below, including 11 straight losses. I mean, it really doesn't point to Miami, a warm weather team. So long story short, give me Pittsburgh to start things off. I am laying the 3, and I'm buying into all that rhetoric.
I am not buying into the rhetoric, although I am concerned about Tua. He is the only player that worries me on the Miami Dolphins. I think everything else is going to be fine. I don't think that Achane suddenly isn't going to be able to run the ball because it's cold outside. But Tua is a concern. I mean, anytime a quarterback admits that he doesn't like playing in the cold, like that's what I don't like. Like if he would say, oh, no, that's just whatever. By chance, we've lost. He actually has played well in Buffalo in cold weather in the past, and have actually just lost. But to me, it's not about the weather. It's about who's the better football team right now. And right now, the better football team is the Miami Dolphins, running a 4-game win streak with one of the hottest players in the National Football League in HN, and the Pittsburgh Steelers without 2 of their best defensive players tonight. That's the real reason why the line is what it is. All this other smoke is all just media hype and content to fill for hosts and online, etc. TJ Watt is out and Derek Harmon is out, right? TJ Watt and Derek Harmon are their 2 best defensive players. So the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line is absolutely shredded this evening. They're already pretty averagely bad against the run to begin with. That's why the number is what it is, due to the injuries of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me the Miami Dolphins to shock the, I don't know, I guess the handicapping world. I don't think it's the football world, but give me the Dolphins +3 in this game.
All right. I'm going to double down on Pittsburgh. I'm still going the other way. You look at the Dolphin offensive line. They're from Arizona. They're from Houston. They're from USC. You got one guy from Chattanooga, Tennessee. But otherwise, up and down the Dolphins starting offensive line, it's all warm weather. I mean, it is all feeding into that Dolphin can't perform in cold weather. And I'm going to buy in. I'll buy the hook with the over-under. Give me Pittsburgh in a parlay. Lay in the 3 with under 43. This to me has got 30-10, 27-10, 27-13 maybe, but I don't think you're getting to 44 points one way or the other. Pittsburgh in an under parlay game.
I do think it's going to be a smash mouth, lower scoring game. I think there's going to be a lot of running the football in this game. Listen, the Dolphins defense has played a lot better as of late. And the Pittsburgh Steelers offense really isn't scaring anybody. But, look, Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers had some success in cold weather over the years. Aaron Rodgers from California. All right. Josh Allen's from, where's Josh Allen from? California, right? Like, where's Brett Favre, Mr. Cold? Where's he from? Mississippi, right? Like, so it's not where you're from or where you played. It's basically just psychological. Now, listen, Tua's from Hawaii. Okay, so it's sort of an extreme where he just doesn't want to embrace it and he shuts it down. But there's nothing to it. Listen, I played hockey. There's one thing I can comment. I don't like commenting on old players and stuff like this, but I played in the cold. I've played in cold. I grew up in Montreal. I played hockey. We practiced outdoors. I played games outside sometimes in like -22, -18 and stuff. Much colder than this soft-ass stuff that everybody cries about now. And it's just psychological. And you don't have to be a pro athlete, guys. Anybody, although I don't think our audience are big joggers, but anybody that's even jogged in the wintertime knows once you get going, you're hot, you're sweating. It's like, yeah, it's cold out, but, right? It's all psychological, really, the playing in the cold. But I don't think it's a track meet either. I like the under of this football game.
All right. Dolphin defense, you know what? You're right, Gabe. They've won 4 in a row, 5 of their last 6. Now, you look at the competition, and outside of the Bills game, it's been pretty putrid, right? But we'll give credit where credit is due. They've held teams to 17 points or less in this streak here of the last 3 games. So I don't think it's going to be a shootout. That's why we got the under. And I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers, believe it or not. His number's too low. It's less than 200 yards. You can get that by accident. Give me under 216.5 yards passing Aaron Rodgers. He's only hit this in 5 of his 12 games this year. 5 yes, 7 no. I'll take those odds. I think they can jump out to an early lead, 14-0 lead, maybe sit on the ball, get that clock rolling. And again, I don't think he's going to get to 217 yards. So give me under Rodgers passing, believe it or not.
I'm going to tease this game. I'll be quick with this one so we can get to the other picks. I'm just going to tease this game to the under. So I get the Dolphins right now. I got the Dolphins at plus 10.5 and under 49.5. So basically a 7-point teaser. It was the same game parlay, but same thing. This one's kind of weird because, like, if the Dolphins lose, they could just, like, lose 27-3 or something like that. So I'm not even sure, like, if the plus 10 matters. I kind of get the feeling the Dolphins either win the game outright or they just get smoked. But we'll take our chances here that, all right, if you do lose, you could lose a closer one. Give me a 7-point teaser, Dolphins to the under.
All right, my last one will be a prop. Let's go over 22.5 yards receiving. Darnell Washington, he's the big dude, 6'5", 280 pounds, whatever he is. I can't help but think, hey, let's get the ball to this guy. Those defensive backs are not going to want to tackle this dude. He's getting a little bit more and more into the offense. He can get that, and most of his receptions, go for like 5 yards, and then he'll carry like 5 or 6 players and end up getting 15, 20 yards. So he can get this in 2 receptions. Over 22.5 receiving yards, Darnell Washington.
All right, we're going to focus in on Devon Achane in this football game. I think he's the monster here. He has been. Listen, he flies under the radar. The Miami Dolphins really aren't on TV very much, and people have given up on this football team. But anybody that's paying attention, and fantasy football players know just how absolutely lethal this guy has been. And we're going to go over the 110 and a half, 111 and a half, depending on your book right now, for his rush and receiving yards. The Steelers give up like 112 plus. He's going to get his on the ground. Plus, the Steelers are not very good at defending running backs out of the backfield. And, oh, yeah, they're without Harmon and they're without T.J. Watt tonight. If the Miami Dolphins are smart, you take the ball out of Tua's hands. Just give it to Achane a million times, dump it off to him, let him take over this football game, and I think he can. I think he could be the best player on the field in this game. So let's go over the 111 out, but let's go with Achane, first touchdown of the game, Scott. I'm feeling it tonight. The Dolphins are going to send a scare into people early in this game. Achane scores the first touchdown of the game, plus 450.
Wow. All right. I got Pittsburgh winning 27-13, and Pittsburgh leading 7-0 after the first quarter. More coming up on the grid.
Super Bowl MVP, multiple Super Bowl chances there, Super Bowl championship as they got it. Nick Sirianni said on the radio, no chance that Jalen Hurts is going to be benched. But by the way, Jalen Hurts didn't play the last 3 games. I think the Eagles would be 3-0 in those games, though. Just saying, Joe.
Oh, wow. How the mighty have fallen. When the Eagles fans turn on their quarterback, it's getting ugly in Philly, folks.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They're doing a new show about a Japanese interpreter.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're doing like I don't know if it's a documentary or like actors are in it.
It's got a.
I think it's a drama.
It's a real show.
It's like a scripted show.
Yeah.
About a Japanese interpreter.
Yes.
I wonder who's getting paid for that.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why, though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing? And now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 1, getting set for kickoff. Pittsburgh and Miami. I'll throw those the two out there real quickly. We always throw out one score. I'm going to go Pittsburgh 27-13. I'm going to change for my 27-21 because I don't think the Dolphins are getting 21 points. It's 100-1. How about a little first quarter action like we did a few weeks back? Pittsburgh leading 7-0 after the first quarter. That's plus 650. And I'm all over that Achane thinking with you there, Gabe. I'm going to use the over 25.5 25.5 yards receiving. I could see Tua dumping the ball off to this dude all the time. I don't think either team's throwing the ball 30, 40 yards down the field. I'd be real surprised, barring an injury, if A-Chain didn't get his 25.5 yards receiving. And I like your number as well. You can pick your poison which way. I'm going with the receiving yards versus the total yards.
Yeah, I'm going total yards. I got over 111.5, unfortunately. It was 111.5. It popped up at 110.5 briefly, and I missed out on it. That yard hopefully doesn't make a difference. Sometimes it does with these star players, but Achane has been carrying his football team. He's a stud. Like I said, he's their best football player. McDaniel's offense is really, he wants to run the football to begin with, right? And then you get into a little bit of a play action. The Dolphin team total tonight is 19.5. I disagree. Like I said, I think the Dolphins show up tonight. I'm going to go over, and I just took the Dolphins plus half a point in the first quarter. Plus half a point in the first quarter. I wish I was getting more, but we're not. So for the record, the game has just kicked off, and the Miami Dolphins get the ball first, which sets up potentially well for a first touchdown here. Like I said, Scott, there's so much talk. Like yesterday, and I got no beef with Courtney Cronin or anything like that, so I'm not attacking her personally of ESPN. But I saw her yesterday, and she was on the sidelines in a Bears game, and like she was dressed like people in the Arctic don't even buy the stuff that she was wearing, right? And she was like, "Oh, I'm prepared for the game. It's super cold." It's like, girl, it's like 32 degrees or something. Like, what are we doing here? Like people in Winnipeg walk their dog in their underwear and this stuff. Like, I grew up in Montreal. Like, I'm going to run to the store. I'll bring your jacket. I don't need my jacket. It's 2 blocks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this modern era of it's so cold. Oh my God. Oh, the weather. It's going to be so terrible and stuff. You know, like, no, you're all just a bunch of wuss bags. You're seriously just a bunch of bitches. I have lack of a better term. Cry. Oh, the field isn't good enough. You know, in the old days, you used to play on a frozen field. These freaking fields are heated, Scott. They're heated.
Yeah, they're heated.
There's literally heat underneath the field, so it's nice and soft. Like people crying about 3 feet in the Olympics. Oh my God, there's 3 feet short, the ice. There's a 1.5 foot difference at each end. I would never know unless you told me this, but I'm going to freak out about it anyways. My grandfather played in the Olympics. He played for a gold medal in hockey. They played outdoors. I mean, you think the ice was perfect? 1936. They figure skated for gold medals outdoors on this stuff. And everybody just cries, Scott, all the time, man, about, oh, it's so cold and it's so that. Yeah, if you think it's cold, it's going to be cold. I mean, it's pretty simple.
I don't know if the Dolphins lose tonight because it's cold, but there are other numbers to support Pittsburgh. The numbers, you know, as a Dolphin fan, I follow it. It really is just a line in the sand, Gabe, with this Dolphin team. They don't beat good teams, and they can beat the bad teams. They can beat the Falcons. They can beat the Jets and the Saints. That's why they make all these runs late in the season. It's no coincidence they're playing the worst teams on their schedule, and they're winning.
Yeah, but how good? And I totally agree with you, Scott. But there's a lot of teams like that in the NFL where they beat bad teams, etc. Right? But I don't disagree, and it is baffling too. Like, we get it. You're from Miami, but you shouldn't suck as much as you have outdoors, like for as long as you've had. Right. It's been a franchise, like, forever thing type of deal, right? I mean, Dan Marino used to lose in Buffalo all the time, right? But my question to you is, who are they playing tonight? The Pittsburgh Steelers. What's their record? 7-6. What's the Dolphins' record? 6-7. Yeah. What's the difference between these two? Are the Pittsburgh Steelers some great team, Scott? That's my answer to you. And not only that, like, I don't fear Aaron Rodgers. It's like, all right, whatever, dude. Like, so you got Aaron Rodgers, number one. You don't have T.J. Watt. You don't have Derek Hartman. It's not like, you know, they're playing the Denver Broncos or the Buffalo Bills here on the road, Scott. They're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I get it. Pittsburgh at home on Monday night since 1992, 22-1.
That's another thing. Tolman's never lost, actually, I don't think, at home. I think he's 14-0 on Monday Night Football.
That might be before him, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't there in 92.
Yeah, how about winning teams? Tua on the road, 2-15 in his career.
Yeah, Tua's the problem. That's why I said, and for the record, the Dolphins get to midfield and now they're punting.
We don't have Brian Greasy or even pick anybody. We Jay Fiedler, for goodness sakes, is better than Tua on the road against winning teams. It really is.
How about
amazing.
this? You're a Dolphin fan. How about this? It's sort of like a pitcher almost. it's almost to the point where it's like, you know what? We're going to play our backup quarterback when it's cold. I'm dead serious. Like, if he proves, like, if it's just this consistent thing and you're such a wuss that you even cry about it and admit, oh, I don't like playing in the cold, all right, Tua, you're not going to. Because, honestly, like, you know what I mean? Is Tua, like, wussing out in the cold worse than, like, I don't know, Skylar Thompson, like, who plays in the cold at K-State and just sort of manning up and not being – it's almost like a pitcher. We can't pitch you on the road because whatever. Or, you know what I mean? There's some pitchers like that. They can't pitch. There was a guy in the Jays. Like, he could only pitch if the dome was open. I don't know. If the dome is closed at home, I think it was R.A. Dickey. Like, he used to freak out. You got to open the dome. Like, it's like, dude, we can't control the dome for you all the time. Like the roofer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain quirks, Scott, but at some point, you say, all right, we're not going to play Tua on the road in these spots against, like, you know, he can't win.
I'll date myself. I'll throw a Red Sox pitcher that was just that. Roger Moret. Look him up. Moret. Every year the dude would go 11-3, 10-2, 10-3. You know why? Because he would only be able to pitch against certain teams. You know, if you kept him in there every 5 days, he'd get lit up. You know, and as a little small man, pitch him more, Dad, because he can't.
No, that's good. That's good managing, Scott. That they knew. No. Like, don't pitch him more. This is like we put him in these spots. Like they knew. That was smart managing. They knew him.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But that's the job of the manager, to put people in a position to succeed. Now, I'm kind of kidding. Right. It's unheard of. We've never seen that in the NFL before, where a QB is a healthy scratch because it's cold out. But is it that crazy to talk about? I don't think so.
Yeah, 3-and-out for the Dolphins. Pittsburgh ball already.
Super Bowl MVP, multiple Super Bowl chances there, Super Bowl championship as they got it. Nick Sirianni said on the radio, no chance that Jalen Hurts is going to be benched. But by the way, Jalen Hurts didn't play the last 3 games. I think the Eagles would be 3-0 in those games, though. Just saying, Joe.
Oh, wow. How the mighty have fallen. When the Eagles fans turn on their quarterback, it's getting ugly in Philly, folks.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
They're doing a new show about a Japanese interpreter.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're doing like I don't know if it's a documentary or like actors are in it.
It's got
I think it's a drama.
It's a real show.
It's like a scripted show?
Yeah.
About a Japanese interpreter?
Yes.
I wonder who's getting paid for that.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why, though?
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, game day here on the grid. So Dolphins had the ball. They got a first out, actually had a first play. I said 3-and-out, but they actually had a 20-yard completion on the first play, then 3-and-out after that. So Pittsburgh now has the ball. They're in the process of punting. So I really don't think it's going to be a big number. That's why I didn't play that many props. I usually put game, in Monday night, only show in town. I'll put 10, 15 plays in when everything is said and done, right? But I didn't start with that much. I might end up with that many, but I didn't start because I don't think it's going to be a great night prop-wise for these players.
I know what you mean.
Letting a bunch of yards.
Yeah, I played H-Hand first touchdown. I played the prop. I didn't play a ton of touchdown. In fact, you know what? I didn't even get my H-Hand touchdown prop. I only played him to score a touchdown. Sorry, the first touchdown. Let me get the anytime touchdown. Minus 110 right now. You're right, but at the same point in time, these are the good games, Scott. I like these ones from a prop perspective. I love it, man, when we're at the half and every prop is 1.5 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those other games, it's tough. It's like, yeah, we know, man. Like Jamar Chase over under 7.5. And like, it's all super high. And if you don't, the script, if there's any sort of bump along the road, the props sort of fall off. These low scoring games, we're going to get some low numbers with some players eventually in this game, which that's when I like it. Right, all right, man. Oh, we just need one catch from Dulcich here, right? We just need one catch from Wall or whatnot. I do like Greg Dulcich tonight, guys. It's 18.5. He's gone over this number in 4 of 5. And the Pittsburgh Steelers literally are one of the worst teams in the NFL against tight ends. So I would expect, if Tua can complete a pass, Tua's the X factor here. I swear to God, that's why I sort of kidded and seriously brought up, like, man, if there was any other quarterback here, I'd like be all in on this with the Dolphins. I did go all in on the Dolphins, and it's a leap of faith, but Tua is the one guy I'm worried about. As you saw, Scott, the defense was flying around there, right? Aaron Rodgers isn't scaring anybody. Like, if you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's why I said, like, okay, you brought up the Dolphins aren't good against good teams. How good are the Steelers? DK Metcalf is overrated, like, way overrated. Like, are the Seahawks missing him? Like,
nope.
Are they? No, like, right?
Nope.
They're 11-3. How they doing? Right, they knew, get rid of this dude. Like, and I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but he's just one of these typical, thinks he's better than he is, get me the ball, and, like, he doesn't get open. Like, he doesn't get open. He's not fast, Metcalf. That's his problem. He's a physical specimen. His best attribute is, you know, those toss-ups in the end zone and stuff like that, but he's not like, he's not like, you notice, guys, he's not like this number one, he's going to get the ball 8 times a game and get open all the time. He doesn't. So Aaron really doesn't have anyone to throw to. They don't have any wide receivers. Their rushing game is average. Warren is an average back. Pittsburgh hasn't had a good back since Jerome Bettis, like a real one. And then Aaron Rodgers, there's no threat of him with his legs, Scott. So it's kind of like, all right, we don't fear your running back, and we know your quarterback isn't going to take off. I think it kind of makes it easier for teams to defend the pass against the Steelers because they're so predictable, and it's just so non-talented, if you know what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing to be worried about. Like, they're not like, you got to be careful, man, because this guy might, like, you know what I mean? Hey, watch out, man, because, you know, he can get past you, and we got to worry about him, and you got to worry about that. Like with the Bills, watch out for Cook here. Hey, we'll worry about Kincaid over there, huh? Who, like, if you're lining up, you're looking at the Steelers, it's like you're almost like, we'll play them man-to-man. No one's better than us. Like, they're not going to beat us one-on-one. And it's hard for Rodgers, I think.
Yep. Metcalf only has 2 games of over 100 yards, and one against Minnesota, he had an 80-yard touchdown run or reception. Otherwise, he wouldn't have got it. It's only this last game that was kind of like the fountain of youth game for all these guys where Rodgers was throwing the ball for all over the place, threw for nearly 300 yards. Metcalf had his best game by far, 7 receptions. But I don't think, and that's why I went under with Rodgers tonight with his passing yards. I don't think they're going to duplicate that. I see this more like 16-10, 20-10, 23-10, something like that. It's true. You know, they're kind of like Alabama. You know, this year, where the Alabama's running game was awful, which is the first time you said that in, you know, eons. And kind of Pittsburgh has always been at least halfway decent, whereas this year it's not. So
they really haven't, though, for a while. We've heard it, like that whole Pittsburgh Steeler football thing. Every year in training camp, Tomlin talks about how they're going to run the ball this year. They never do. Like, even like with Roethlisberger, when there's a nice run for H-N. Man, this guy's smooth, huh?
Yeah.
Like, dude, he just glides.
I'm glad they didn't trade.
He
glides.
They
were talking about trading him, and I'm glad they didn't. And the Dolphins were smart enough when they were dumping all their players that this guy's too good. So, yeah, he's a stud. He was a stud at Texas A&M. Everyone calls him his H-N, right? But his name's H-N. He told people a couple of years ago, you know, you're all saying it wrong, right? Like, right? It's H-N. It looks cool with the H-N, but it's H-N. There's a lot of names like that, right? Bijan Robinson, Bijan, and all those little sort of things with the first names. But, man, he's a pleasure to watch, the way he runs. Like, he almost looks like he's skating on ice. Like, he looked like Connor McDavid there. It was like he was skating almost. Dolphins with the ball at the Pittsburgh 40. We'll see what happens when we come back.
Super Bowl MVP, multiple Super Bowl chances there, Super Bowl championship as they got it. Nick Sirianni said on the radio, no chance that Jalen Hurts is going to be benched. But by the way, Jalen Hurts didn't play the last 3 games. I think the Eagles would be 3-0 in those games, though. Just saying, Joe.
Oh, wow. How the mighty have fallen. When the Eagles fans turn on their quarterback, it's getting ugly in Philly, folks.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
They're doing a new show about a Japanese interpreter.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're doing like I don't know if it's a documentary or like actors are in it.
It's got to.
I think it's a drama.
It's a real show.
It's like a scripted show.
Yeah.
About a Japanese interpreter.
Yes.
I wonder who's getting paid for that.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why, though?
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing and now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Well, that didn't take long. Any good thought about Tua maybe changing the MO of the Dolphins? So far, anyway. They're driving, giving the ball off to H-Hand. They're passing little short dump passes. They're gaining some yards. Got Pittsburgh on its heels. And then he throws a god-awful interception. Just a god-awful interception. I mean...
Hey, Scott, there's a scene in Seinfeld when Kramer throws up on somebody. Right. And George blames himself after. He goes, I never should have introduced her to him. Should have saw it coming. Should have known. Blame myself, right? And that's on McDaniel right there. I guarantee you he's thinking the same thing right now about all right. Because I think McDaniel is a smart guy. So I think he's thinking, okay, I tried to call a normal play, with a normal quarterback, right? You know what I mean? It's we can't run on every play. We can't just throw screens. All right, everything's going well. We're moving the ball. Now we're going to throw the ball down the field. First time he throws the ball, really down the field on a real pass. Dude, what was that? Waddle had to come back. Waddle could have done a better job, I thought, of defending it, but I think he was surprised about just what a terrible pass it was, that it put him in a bad spot. But Tua is the problem here. All right, Warren just fumbled, but I think he's down.
Ooh. I don't know.
I think he's down. But yeah, look, here's the show on the replay here now. It's just, what is Tua doing? It's just, he's the problem, Scott. He's the problem. Yeah. And look, he's open. He's got to throw it to a certain part of the field, and he underthrows it. He threw it, more to the Steeler than the Dolphin. He threw off his front foot. Yeah, look at Scott. He throws off his front foot. He kind of threw it up, and he jumped when he threw it. It's you weren't even under that much pressure when you threw the ball.
No.
He panicked early. There's there was plenty of time in the pocket. Dude, can you imagine, Scott, privately how frustrated Jalen Waddle must be in real life, when he goes home after and just oh my God, and he just tells someone like, "Guy, you don't know, I was open like 22 times today." Like, you know what I mean?
So it was for Ty Hill.
I'm
Ty
open
Hill's
off my
great for Ty
slot
Hill.
rent all the
Yeah.
time, and he doesn't see it. Like, you know?
Yeah. It's when you get your wide receivers killed too. That's when they really turn on you.
That's Baker. That's Baker's problem suddenly. He's getting his guys killed. Everything's high. Tua doesn't get his guys killed. He doesn't throw it hard enough to get you killed. Like, dude, like he literally has zero arm strength, this guy.
Zero. I told you to break, and it's not.
They can't even do a Hail Mary, huh? Like they can't do a Hail Mary from the 50. He can't throw it to the end zone.
There's been about 3 games this year, literally 3 games at the end of the first half or at the end of the game, they were in a Hail Mary and he wouldn't throw it because they don't want to expose him to it and show the world that the dude can't throw 50 yards. He can't. What's he doing as an NFL quarterback? And that play, I'd say that interception, he had yippity feet there. I think his first option was not open, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I'm not scrambling," because he doesn't scramble anymore. Those days are done, and he just freaked out and just threw the ball towards Waddle, and it obviously was intercepted.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
even
he
it's
really
a
wasn't
family
under pressure.
decision, like from his wife, and stuff. Secretly, like, get rid of the
And I'm
ball no
okay
matter
with
what.
that.
You're still gonna play football. You can't get hit, but it's kind of hard to be an NFL quarterback if like. Yeah, I can't get hit. I can't throw a deep ball. And by the way, I've never won a game in my life in cold weather.
Yeah.
And I'm in the AFC East.
$40 million.
Yeah, and I'm in the AFC East, Scott. I'm in the AFC East.
Buffalo. Yeah.
I know you don't like him, but he's a lot better than Tua is. Kyler Murray.
Well, you go from the pot to the frying pan.
Just get it done. There's a big difference, though. Kyler Murray's never had weapons around him. He'd be good with McDaniel. He's not going to be with Arizona next year. And honestly, with Tua, I'm not even kidding. He can't play in cold weather, and he's in the AFC East, right? And Miami needs to change as well. Like, I would actually almost do an old-school quarterback trade, right? And actually just trade. Say, listen, we want Murray. You guys aren't re-signing him. If you want Tua, let's make a deal. And then you get Tua, you wouldn't have to play in cold weather, Scott. You can play in Arizona twice, you can play in LA twice a year, blah, blah. Like, the coldest weather will be Seattle for him.
Right. A little closer to Hawaii. It's crazy. They both make about $40 million a year. It's one of the few trades with major players, salary caps and everything, that they probably could pull it off if they really
But if I'm
wanted.
Arizona, I don't want, Tua. Kyler Murray's a lot better than Tua.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a big upgrade for Miami.
Yeah, probably is. It definitely is. But boy, you talk about it. You're going to blow out another head coach and Gannon with Arizona and give this guy his 3rd head coach. If you bring, Kyler Murray
I don't think they're going to fire Gannon. I don't think they're firing the coach there. I had higher hopes for Arizona, but they could just be one of these. They're like the Browns or something. Like, they'll never be good, Arizona. I think it's just one of those deals. There's like pure apathy. People are walking out. So Steelers go for it on 4th down. They get it. You said 7-0 after the first quarter. I said I took the Dolphins plus half a point. That's why that interception really killed me too. I got the Dolphins plus half a point in the first here. Last night, Scott, I took the Minnesota Vikings. I went contrarian last night too. All right, so I took the Vikings last night. I took the Vikings in the first quarter. And Dallas, got tackled on the 1-yard line, Scott, at the last play of the first quarter, and they scored on the second play of the first play. First play of the second quarter. We got really lucky. So it's the same thing here with Pittsburgh. It's like, Pittsburgh keep moving the ball here. They might not score before the end of the first quarter here, and I might get out of this, actually,
Yeah. You only got to kill 3 minutes. You, in a strange sort of way, you need Pittsburgh to get a first down here. They got it at 41,
They won't kick a field goal from here, though. You're right, though. Like, you know what I mean?
So, it'd be a 50. What was the field goal thing tonight? I bet it was under 50 without knowing.
You know what? I didn't actually look. I swear. You know what? It was all nights. I didn't win last night. I took it with Aubrey.
5,000 field goals.
So Aubrey missed. He missed.
Yeah.
He always, he's missed a few times recently, but it hasn't been on the long ones that he missed. You know what I mean? I think you or I were on once a couple of weeks ago, actually. Remember he missed like a 44-yarder?
Yeah.
And then he drilled like a 60-yard or whatever. So last night was the same thing. He missed like a 51-yarder earlier in the game. And I was like, man, it's 53.5, so I don't really care if he makes it or not, to be honest with you. And then he missed, and I was like, all right, good. He'll make the long one later then. And then he had a 59-yarder, and he missed that one. It was somewhat surprising. Steelers go for it twice on 4th down on this drive, and they pick it up again. So the drive continues.
Yeah.
But it eats the clock up, like you said.
Yeah, but I obviously needed that one way or the other. So they got it at the 32-yard line. It's going to be a fast-moving game. Guys, you don't have to order the late-night snacks tonight, I don't think. So it's already
don't pull a Dave Portnoy who celebrated the Bills losing yesterday too early.
Yeah. I can't believe that. 21-0. Ooh, that's a tough loss.
Bills were plus 550 on the money line, just for the record, at the time.
At the time, yeah.
That's as high as it got.
10.5. I think it was the highest 10.5. Me and Blue were doing in-game live. In fact, I grabbed them at 10.5, and Blue's like, "Yeah, you really want?" I said, "Yeah, but they got to come back. They're not going to get completely blown out." So
no, you sort of knew. You sort of knew.
As soon as they scored that first touchdown, I was like, "All right, you know what? Buffalo, meaning, as soon as they cut it to
it's like the first time this year, except earlier in the year. I know they lost to the Raiders, etc. But like that, the Patriots sort of got they got punched back, Scott. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The crowd got quiet, and then it was sort of brought up during the game. Oh yeah, by the way, Drake May doesn't have one single comeback win in his life in the NFL. Like they're very inexperienced guys. I know everybody wants to like fast track them, but yeah, do you imagine? Drake May doesn't have one comeback win in his career yet. I'm not criticizing him for it. I mean, hell, you're 11-3. You've been ahead in games, and you're a rookie last year. But I'm just stating he hasn't been in a tough spot in the fire yet much,
Yeah. Interesting. All right, In-Game Live continues here on the grid.
Super Bowl MVP, multiple Super Bowl chances there, Super Bowl championship as they got it. Nick Sirianni said on the radio, no chance that Jalen Hurts is going to be benched. But by the way, Jalen Hurts didn't play the last 3 games. I think the Eagles would be 3-0 in those games, though. Just saying, Joe.
Oh, wow. How the mighty have fallen when the Eagles fans turn on their quarterback. It's getting ugly in Philly, folks.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They're doing a new show about a Japanese interpreter.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're doing I don't know if it's a documentary or like actors are in it.
It's got to.
I think it's a drama.
It's a real show.
It's like a scripted show?
Yeah.
About a Japanese interpreter?
Yes.
I wonder who's getting paid for that.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing? And now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. So 1 quarter in the books. Scott Gabe, our number one. No score, Pittsburgh and Miami. Pittsburgh was driving. Well, Dolphins were driving as well. Then Tua threw a pick. Pittsburgh was driving right around the same, right around the 35 or so yard line. And Rodgers got sacked on third down. They have to punt. So first quarter ends with no score. Pittsburgh will start the second quarter, punting the ball back to the Miami Dolphins, unless they don't want to go for
total now.
4th and 15. Yeah, total's down to 32.5. 10 points off.
It just fell to 30.5 for me. It was 32.5, and it just moved to 30.5 even. Which, guys, this is a pretty extreme move. Like from a 42.5 that there's been a 12.5 point drop after 1 quarter. Normally you and I, we talk about, wow, they're still hanging on to hope. Huh? Like, it's still 37.5. It's still 39.
Yeah.
Oftentimes the computer will lean more on this game will open up. Like, you know what I mean? They won't move off that opening number as much. And we've been on for every prime time game. Like, normally 42 now would be like 34.5 or 35.5 or 36.5 or whatnot.
Yeah.
Dude, down to 30.5. Like their math is adding up that, no one's going to score in this game. Just went up to 31.5 right now. The Dolphins are still getting 3.5 right now, which to me is relatively attractive, Scott, because I think we've seen this is an evenly matched football game. You've got one quarterback that's absolutely useless in cold weather, and you got another quarterback that's like 102 years old.
Yeah.
So, pick your poison here. I think the guys in white are the better team now, right? So I'm going to, all right, can you guys find a way? Just give it, hand it off. Don't throw it deep, and I think you can win this game outright.
It's kind of like the Colts yesterday. It's very frustrating as I'm sitting on over 155.5 yards passing for Phillip Rivers, right? But they were just dinking and dunking, running 2 times, throw a short pass to the running back. And they got those early touchdowns and had the early lead and just kind of sat on it. And
that works until you have to score. That was the problem late, right? You can chip away because you sort of think, how come all teams don't do this? Look how simple this is. Just dump it off, kick field goals. You know what I mean? Play defense. Yeah, that's all fine and cute until it's 2 minutes left and you need a touchdown. And then suddenly it's like, all right, we're in a lot of trouble. Like, how are we going to find a way to, move the ball all the way into the end zone for 80 yards here? And you can't do it, right? It's sort of like the teams that, the little, it's hard, guys, to score on a 14-play drive. Mistakes will happen. Penalties will happen, right? You can't just dink and dunk. You got to make a play at some point in time. Unless somebody, in college, whatever, the running back can run past everybody, right? Skill will sort of matter. In the NFL, Scott, as you know, it's really hard. That's sort of what the Dolphins do. That's their problem. These 12-play drives, and, it's too hard, man. You're going to make a mistake. You're going to get a penalty. You're going to turn the ball over, when you run as many plays as you do.
Yeah. But this is the MO for the Dolphins. If they are to win tonight, this is what it's going to be. I don't think that in a million years they would ever win a shootout with anybody, let alone, an outdoor game like this. But, could they win just like Baltimore or just like Indianapolis yesterday? I date myself with the Colts. Keep it a low-scoring game. Get your defense to step up. Keep it an ugly, unwatchable game, but walk out of there with a 13-10, 16-13 type of win. So I can't believe it. I didn't see the first half of the Seattle game. I was on my way back home from work, but I'll just take what the announcers were saying to truth.
I watched
Seattle
the game.
didn't blitz. Seattle didn't blitz from what the announcers were saying. And you got a 44-year-old. I've been waiting all day to just say this. You got a 44-year-old quarterback that hasn't played game in 5 years, and you're not blitzing the guy.
But Seattle don't blitz. That's not their thing. And Seattle's defense did their job yesterday. They were smart, right? They basically said, listen, Rivers can't beat us down the field. Let them drop it off in front of you know what I mean? Let them dump it off. The problem was they were playing like possessed, right? Jonathan Taylor would turn a little little screenplay into an 8-yard gain. Right. The O-line really played well for them. So it was kind of smart. Seattle's problem yesterday was the offense, Scott, which has to be a concern moving forward, right? It's almost like the Cinderella stuff where, it's approaching midnight for Sam Darnold again. And I like Darnold. He's good, but it's as the season goes on and these games sort of get bigger, And it wasn't really his fault yesterday. It wasn't like, oh, Darnold was terrible yesterday. But Seattle's offense was a problem yesterday. They didn't score a single touchdown, Scott. They're like they kicked 6 field goals to win the football game.
6 field goals. I mean, that's just like they ended up winning, but boy, they got lucky. And I listen, I understand what you're saying, drop back and just let them dump the ball off. But if I blitz 6 or 7, well, not 7, but if I blitz 6 guys and give this guy no time to throw, instead I'm going to let him just kind of pick his point and maybe throw the ball. I just thought that was dumb. You're not going to do it every play, but man, you got to. He would be sad. He'd be out of the game
Scott,
by the second quarter.
You're questioning a game you didn't watch against one of the best defenses in the
half.
NFL. But like the Colts offense didn't do anything in the game. They killed time and they dumped it off a bunch of times. But it's not like they did anything in the game.
But you kept them in the game.
The offense not doing anything kept them in the game. Seattle's offense didn't score a single touchdown. Point blank, it was their defense.
Yeah, that didn't help. But I got a 44-year-old quarterback, Gabe, that hasn't played in 5 years. I'm blitzing him every play. And if he beats me, then you know what? He beats me. Versus, I'm going to give you all day to throw.
He can easily throw it over you, and then you're going to, why take a chance? That's just, you know what I mean?
He couldn't throw it.
He can still throw the ball. He can still throw it.
He didn't show it yesterday. He didn't see it yesterday in the second half.
He was through the ball fine. You know what I mean? Like, he can still sling it. He can't move. You know what I mean? He's old in the pocket and stuff. Look, he looked better than I think a lot of people thought he was going to be honest with you. Right? Like, I think people ought to thought, it was going to be like a complete sort of disaster and stuff. Like, it's like Tom Brady. Look, Tom Brady could still play now, too. He'd be better, though. Like, I saw a video of Tom Brady the other day throwing a football. He can still, like, really, really sling it, right? Does he want to go through the entire season and all that? But, look, Rivers is starting again this week. They liked what they saw. They're going to be starting him again against San Francisco now.
But the stink is shifting for the Colts one way or the other, that's for sure. All right, more coming up. We'll update the Dolphin game in a second.
Super Bowl MVP, multiple Super Bowl chances there, Super Bowl championship as they got it. Nick Sirianni said on the radio, no chance that Jalen Hurts is going to be benched. But by the way, Jalen Hurts didn't play the last 3 games. I think the Eagles would be 3-0 in those games, though. Just saying, Joe.
Oh, wow. How the mighty have fallen. When the Eagles fans turn on their quarterback, it's getting ugly in Philly, folks.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
They're doing a new show about a Japanese interpreter.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're doing I don't know if it's a documentary or actors are in it.
It's got
I think it's a drama.
It's a real show.
It's like a scripted show?
Yeah.
About a Japanese interpreter?
Yes.
I wonder who's getting paid for that.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why, though?
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing? And now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
welcome back to In-Game Live. Game day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe closing out hour number 1. So they're about 4 minutes into the second quarter. Pittsburgh and the Dolphins are scoreless. Pittsburgh has the ball at their own 18, 19-yard line. Over-under is down to 29, finally, and a half, 29 and a half, which, listen, it makes sense. You got to whack, basically a quarter of the game is gone. So you got to take a quarter off the over-under total. So statistically, it makes sense. It's just, weird seeing a 29 and a half in a game
That's low.
Yeah, that's like really,
one
tempting.
touchdown, it could kind of open up a little bit, right? You figure, all right, suddenly it spikes, but every time there's a play, the Pittsburgh Steelers sort of beating themselves, right? They had a big run, then they get called with the holding, so it comes back right now. Same thing with Miami. Miami are getting first downs, and then they punt the ball. Yeah, the total, Scott, it's weird. I agree with you. I look at it. I did click. I've been clicking away here. So I got in on I got in on under 30 and a half, did I bet? You know what? I didn't get it in. I got the Dolphins at plus 140 on the money line. I didn't get the under in. So 28 and a half now. Thing is, and Aaron Rodgers just got sacked again. So he's getting murdered back there. The Dolphins defense is really showing up. Dude, it just moved to 20. I was going to bet it at 28. It just went to 27 and a half, Scott.
Wow.
This is almost like the Army-Navy game, though. Like, the clock is just being eaten up, dude. Like, dude, there's only 9 minutes left, and there's no play, Scott. Like, they keep getting sacked and tackled in the middle of the field. That clock is just ticking away, man. Like,
This is what I said I thought would happen, Gabe. I mean, you think, okay, both these quarterbacks stink, right? Well, they do and they don't for whatever reason. But I'll tell you, Aaron Rodgers, 8 of 9 for 57 yards. 2 tags, 4 of 6, for 37
dink
yards.
and dunk,
So
dink and dunk, dink and dunk.
Yeah. And so the clock is rolling. They're not throwing passes down the field and it's 3 and out and you get a ton of possession. No, it's dinking and
no one's
dunking.
even running out of bounds. Everything's just in the middle of the field, like just sort of like
in between the 30s. Each team goes up in between the 30s, gets a first down.
You're right.
Like
the passes not really incomplete because they're all safe passes. Even Tua's was an interception. It was caught. Like,
yeah,
so,
yeah,
like,
it's true. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, like the clock stopped after the pass. 8:35. Look, from a time perspective, this actually is fast. We've talked about fast games before. This is the fastest one yet, Scott. It's 5 to what? I mean, I'm on the West Coast, so it's moving on 6 o'clock here. It's not even 9 o'clock, and there's only like 8 minutes left in the first half right now. Dude, they kicked off at 8:15.
Yeah, think about that. They kicked off 8:15, 8:14, whatever it was, right? And they are 8.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. You've got 15 minutes of game time. You got another 6.5 minutes of game time. So
they're going to add a million commercials, though, which is frustrating because it doesn't mean guys like, this is going to be a quick game or like, no.
Yeah, no.
Like they're hell bent. This thing will go to 11 o'clock, like point blank, hell or high water. They will call timeouts. They will just randomly go to commercial breaks.
Yeah,
we have never. We'll get off like
challenges.
Like they will make sure this thing gets to like 11:05, 11:07 type thing. We never end before 11:11.
Yeah, guy will get hurt. As you see all the time, and they'll go to a commercial. Meanwhile, the guy's like, "No, I'm all right. I'll walk off the field. No, just stay there. Don't worry about it."
I heard a mic pick up the other day. It was an NBA game, though. It was the NBA Cup the other night. I heard the ref say to the coaches, "We're behind on commercials," and it just sort of cut off and went to a commercial.
Really?
Yeah, because I think the coach asked him, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on?" And the ref said, we're behind on commercial. And it just sort of like, as he was saying it, they went to a commercial type thing.
Commercial break.
It's like, dude, the game's going like, what are you going to do if you're a coach? Like, you're getting paid. It's a business. They tell you, listen, we have not played all the commercials that we're supposed to play. We're taking a timeout, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't make this stuff up. I mean, this happens. They got to get it.
You want to get paid, coach? That's what I would tell them. Like, if they bitch. I told you that it was great with Jack Del Rio and Coach Fisher. The Titans were beating the Jags, and it was only like 4 minutes left in the game. It was a rout game. And they said, "Hey, coach, we're running behind on commercials. Can you call a timeout so we can catch up?" And Fisher just went on an F-bomb tirade on the ref, Scott. It was gold. "What are you effing kidding me? I'm not doing that. That's just stupid. I'm not doing that." He goes, "I'm not like prolonging this game." And he goes, no. He basically told the ref, go F himself. He goes, tell the league to F. Like, he really, like Fisher went off on it. They went over to Jack Del Rio, and Jack was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And he called the timeout like nonchalant. He's like, yeah, all right. He called the timeout. That's why Fisher's exiled from football now.
yeah. Doing XFL stuff. All right, Miami with the ball.
Super Bowl MVP, multiple Super Bowl chances there, Super Bowl championship as they got it. Nick Sirianni said on the radio, no chance that Jalen Hurts is going to be benched. But by the way, Jalen Hurts didn't play the last 3 games. I think the Eagles would be 3-0 in those games, though. Just saying, Joe.
Oh, wow. How the mighty have fallen. When the Eagles fans turn on their quarterback, it's getting ugly in Philly, folks.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
They're doing a new show about a Japanese interpreter.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're doing like I don't know if it's a documentary or like actors are in it.
It's got to.
I think it's a drama.
It's a real show.
It's like a scripted show.
Yeah.
About a Japanese interpreter.
Yes.
I wonder who's getting paid for that.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why though?
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing? And now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2 of our 3.5 hour extravaganza. Dolphins and Pittsburgh Steelers highlighting all the action. Dolphins on the move, so maybe we'll get our first points here. We'll see as we welcome in our good buddy, Sean Higgs, winnersandwhiners.com. What's going on, Sean? How are you tonight? What side you on?
I got a little Steeler action today. A little Steelers plus the 3. A little bit of a biased bet for me there. I got the Dolphins under 8.5 wins, so I'm kind of hoping that one need some losses here. Miami had off the top rope with some wins here in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I was thinking about that last night. Actually, I was looking at win totals and sort of going over the season a bit, and I was getting a chuckle out of that. I was like, you know what, Miami are going to end up going over their win total when it's all said and done.
Yeah,
there were some 7.5s out there at minus money too. Like, I think they're going to end up getting there when it's all said and done.
Well, you got Cincinnati next week. I mean, Joe Burrow looks like a kid who lost his puppy. That team's got zero heart left. I don't think that's Miami's going to make the playoffs. And it's crazy because you go back to week 2, people think he was going to get fired. The coach is getting fired if they lose to Buffalo on a Thursday night game, and they go out, they play tough, and here he is going to the playoff. Him.
Scott, you're a Dolphin fan, so you know the team. You follow the team, but they always liked him. The players like him. The organization likes him. A lot of football people all stood up and said at the time, they're crazy if they fire this guy. He's a really good coach. It's not his fault what's going on there and all that. He's got to be, taught how to do press conferences better, and he wouldn't bring a lot of these problems upon himself, but they played hard for him. And, speaking of the cold stuff, I don't know if you guys saw it. I retweeted it, but last night, the Dolphins got to Pittsburgh last night. And they literally went from the airport to a stadium and practiced in the snow last night in the cold. Teams don't do that. Yeah, teams, like, you don't have to do that. Like, the player could say, yo, bro, that's not in our contract. Like, I'm not Saturday night. That's not happening, right? Like, no. They gung-ho. They were all into it. You saw they had fun in the snow. They were practicing. It's like, all right, one thing, have fun in the snow and stuff. But I just like that they knew. Listen, people are laughing at us. We can't win out. Like, we got to win a game outdoors. And I like that, Higgs, that a 6-7 football team on a Saturday night at 11 o'clock at night on a high school field in a cold night on Pittsburgh, that freaking shows you like your coach, point blank.
Yes, and also, you know what? They believe in themselves. Like, we can go in here and win. Forget about what you've said about us in the past. But it is a tough to get out of your heads. Like, I mean, I remember them playing in Kansas City in the cold, and they just looked like scared.
Yeah, but not all these guys have been on these teams, right, in the past. So it's like a lot of guys on the team are thinking, I got nothing to do with everyone else losing 10 years ago or something.
But you don't know if that's part of the coach, like, doesn't get you.
Well, the coach doesn't help. This guy's showing up in parkas and stuff. Like, he thinks he's in Antarctica, like, all the time.
Here's what
we talked about it, Scott, though. Remember what team was it last week, Scott? They were in the dome, or it was like nice weather, and one of the teams were decked out. Remember, like, they had the headgear on, and Pickens was covered up, like, he was all with a jacket on. Like, it's like, bro, it's like the fans are in like hoodies. The fans are in hoodies. Like, what are you doing? Like,
this is what the pessimistic Dolphin fan. This is what the pessimistic Dolphin fan will tell you about the players liking the head coach. Yeah, they like him. You know why they like him? Because he's a cupcake with the players. There's no discipline on that team. So they'll lose at the beginning of the season because there's no discipline. And then they realize, geez, if we don't start winning, our coach is going to get fired and we're going to get a hard ass in here. So let's win a couple of these games at the end of the year and show the owners that we care about the head coach. That's what the pessimistic Dolphin fan will tell you. That's why they're winning some of these games. So
let's look at the penalties per game. Penalties per game, because penalties are kind of a big indication of the respect for the coach, right? Like, if you have 1 million penalties a game, right? Either unless it's like deliberate, and you're sort of like, okay, like Jacksonville and Denver both have 8 penalties per game. I think it's more that's a case of Jacksonville and Denver just say, you know what, let's just pass interfere and hold on every play. And we'll get called a couple of times. I don't think it's sort of like, like put it this way, guys. When Rex Ryan was the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, we led the league in penalties, Scott. Point blank. Why? Because if you're a player, you know there's no, like, punishment coming, right? Rex Ryan was too busy yelling at the ref himself all the time. Like, Rex was like the king of freaking out. So, like, the players would freak out, and the players, like if you look, the Jags have the most penalties. I'm trying to find Miami here. Like, they don't have a ton of... look, like Miami have the sixth less penalties in football. That's not a sign of disrespect to your coach. That's showing that we're kind of prepared, actually, if anything. Yeah. We don't make mistakes. We're prepared. You know?
They can like him, though, but they can like him, but the coach could still get fired. I mean, that's part of it, because that shows you that they're going to try for the head coach if they like him, I guess. But that doesn't mean the coach is a good head coach. I've never seen a head coach get so much praise and so much love from everybody, yet the guy has done nothing. He's done nothing. He's never won a playoff game, doesn't win on the road, doesn't beat good teams. Teams underachieve with him. There's too much talent.
His record is 4-30.
Injuries.
His record is 34-30 for the record coming into tonight. 9-8, 11-6, 8-9, 6-7.
Yeah. I mean, how many years do you give that? You're looking to fire your guy, right? You're going to the playoff. You're going to the AFC Championship game every year. Dolphins are just looking for a playoff win, for goodness sakes. Just give me a playoff win. And people are treating him like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. They haven't won a playoff game since 2000. That's the third longest streak in the 4 major sports.
I don't know what you think, Higgs. I don't think McDaniel's the problem in Miami, personally.
I don't know what the problem is there. Tua's okay. He's not bad. There's worse than Tua. I know I call him Tua tagging the turnover. He's got 14 picks. When he's bad, he's horrendous. When he has a bad game, it's 2 or 3 interceptions. He looks terrible. But he's pretty accurate otherwise. I mean, the guy's catching the ball, whether he's on the wrong team or not. He's throwing it to somebody to catch it. So
he's okay.
He's got that going on for him.
He's okay.
There's worse. You can do a lot worse than Tua in the NFL. Look, I mean, we've seen some of these quarterbacks. Come on. You got a decent running back. You got wide receiver. The defense is not terrible. It's like every defense. One year somebody looks really good, and the next year they look terrible. I think they're like every other team. They're just kind of lumped together in that middle tier of 10-7 to 8-9 or whatever. I mean,
if he didn't look the way that he did, and he didn't dress the way that he did, and address the media, Scott, the way that he did, there'd be a different narrative about him. If you know what I mean, if he showed up like every other football coach in a hoodie and like, bang, I'll tell you what, like I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't sell it, bro. He doesn't sell it. No. He looks like a geek. He looks like a computer tech guy. You know what I mean? Like he's like a geeky kid type dude. Like,
and then you hear him talk, and he's like,
I know, we try to win. I know,
we're going to play Pittsburgh. You want to slap him in the face.
Yeah, but he doesn't talk like that in real life. So just either don't do the damn press conferences or learn to do
his
them.
Wife that way? Yeah, something. You got it. It's presentable. It's just. And then he's got the goofy glasses, and then he's got the hoodie on the
but he's 34 and 30. To me, the
But
Dolphins haven't really drafted well. Achane is good. How many draft picks have been great? Seriously, how many draft picks have the Dolphins knocked out of the park?
They finally got rid of Chris Greer. He was the first one to go. The pecking order: GM, head coach, quarterback, and that's what the Dolphin fan is. Just it's the frustration. Speaking as a Dolphin fan, just sometimes the outsider will say, well, give him a shot, he's 500. But as a Dolphin fan, with all these expectations over the last 3-4 years that they've had, it's just like it's not happening. It's just you got to move on, even if it means going back.
I would switch quarterbacks, not the coach.
Quarterbacks.
Tua's got to go. He's got one more
Tua's got to go.
left.
Tua's holding his team back. You can't win if you can't throw the ball down the field, Higgs. The guy's got more concussions than a WWE wrestler does. Like, he's done.
Yeah. Sean, hey, we'll get some winners from Sean when we come back.
Super Bowl MVP, multiple Super Bowl chances there, a Super Bowl championship as they got it. Nick Sirianni said on the radio, no chance that Jalen Hurts is going to be benched. But by the way, Jalen Hurts didn't play the last 3 games. I think the Eagles would be 3-0 in those games, though. Just saying, Joe.
Oh, wow. How the mighty have fallen. When the Eagles fans turn on their quarterback, it's getting ugly in Philly, folks.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They're doing a new show about a Japanese interpreter.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're doing I don't know if it's a documentary or actors are in it.
I
think it's a drama.
It's a real show.
It's like a scripted show?
Yeah.
About a Japanese interpreter?
Yes.
I wonder who's getting paid for that.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why, though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing? And now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Just chatting along with Sean Higgs, winnersandwhiners.com. So back to the game we go here. Pittsburgh on the move, Sean. They got it down to the Dolphin 20-yard line, 2nd and 6. They're down 3-0. They're still minus 3.5, which I find interesting. Something tells me they scored a touchdown. That seems kind of weird that it would still be a 3.5-point favorite. But what do you like? Where would you go from here if you didn't have a dog in the fight? Any props? Any plays? Anything?
I'm hoping for a Freiermuth or a Gainwell touchdown here. That'd be nice. It'd be nice for me here. I'll take a nice 7-3 into the halftime. Would be tidy for me here. I got a couple of anytime tutties there on a few guys, so we'll see how it goes. I thought we'd have a little more offense in this game, believe it or not. I didn't think it would be a 3-0. I thought it would be like a 13-9 kind of game or something along those lines. I know
that's not a lot of offense, 13-9.
No, but I mean, this game, at halftime, I mean, if you're getting 20-some points out of a total that's 40, I'll take 23 at the half, thinking that.
The total's up to 30.5 again right now. You think it's going to open up here? The Steelers are in
2 in a warning.
Second round.
2nd and 6 to the Dolphins 20.
Are they going to score a touchdown here? Are they going to get a field goal? Right? There would be very Dolphin-like, though. The Dolphins are they're like a hockey team that plays well for the entire first period, but somehow they're losing 2-1 at the first period because they give up like 2 late goals at the last minute. This will be classic Dolphins, Scott, where everybody talked about the cold and they're big, they're soft and all this. So they're in Pittsburgh, the Steel City. They're shutting the Steelers out. They're doing, you know what I mean? They're playing tough football, and it could be all said and done. They're down 7-3 at the end of the half. And if they fall behind by any amount of points, I don't have a lot of confidence in Tua. Like, they've got to stay ahead on schedule here. That's my concern with the Dolphins.
But before the break, we're talking about Miami and the coach and the quarterback. How about, like, Rodgers is getting a free pass on this squad being 7-6 with Tomlin? Like, are they ready to move on? Like, are you keeping him if they go 10-8 or whatever the hell the record's going to be this year for Pittsburgh? What is their game plan? What is their future plan?
They got to get a quarterback. They're the same thing. They've been kicking the can down the road for a couple of years now, right? With the Russell Wilson, and Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers. You just put yourself in a position where you need, you're digging yourself you're falling behind another year on the draft of racking up young talent and stuff.
Yeah, listen, as fans, we all have a fan of a team, no matter what team it is. If you're just a 500 or a game over 500 kind of team, we'd want the team to be like, you know what, suck it up. If we lose, that's fine. If we need to rebuild, you need to get a quarterback. This is I just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, but a lot of teams need to get a quarterback, right? They're just not out there.
Who they bring in next year? They're getting Kirk Cousins next year? Who they quarterbacking next year?
That's a good question. Because, unless they draft someone and then they don't have the patience. They drafted Kenny Pickett and they realized, all right, we made a mistake, and they never really played him that much, and they moved on quickly. The free agent quarterback class is nothing this year. There's 2 guys. There's 2 guys that people are talking about. Matt Jones and Trey Lance.
Oh, okay.
And you got problems like when Trey Lance is like the hottest commodity on the free agent quarterback market.
Well, Daniel Jones would have been the top guy, but he's out now. That's it. That's over for him.
Yeah, but if he didn't get hurt, they would have paid him, and now they don't have to. Now they
Someone would have paid him, man. Now you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Unless the Steelers say, well, let's get him on the cheap, and let's get him.
That's why Kyler Murray will be a hot commodity, Scott. Arizona will trade Kyler Murray, and somebody will give up a 4th-round pick, whatever, 3rd round. You don't have to. You won't get fleeced. They want to get out of the contract. He wants out. I think Murray, where do you think, Sean? I think Murray's a good fit for the Miami Dolphins, personally. I think he'd be an upgrade to Tua. And then you got Mendoza after Mendoza's Oscar speech the other night that made everybody cry. Now he's going to go higher in the draft right now than he should because of that.
You think that guy's a franchise quarterback?
No.
They're going to hype him up.
I think he's a good quarterback, but I don't think he's a franchise savior.
I'm not taking
overall.
I'm not taking him number 1. I'm not taking. If somebody wants him, I'm trading. I'm trading away. This is not a quarterback draft. Call me crazy. I'm negative on the.
No, it isn't.
But you got to fill slots, right? Steelers go for it on fourth down, they get it to Dolphin 14.
Yeah.
But you got to feel there are so many teams that like want to move on from their current situation. But it, you know, 10 quarterbacks.
These are the odds right now. Fernando Mendoza minus 155 to be the top pick in the draft. Dante Moore,
I wouldn't take
who
that.
hasn't even
take that game.
Dante Moore.
Giants might be the number one overall team. So they're not going to take a quarterback, even though I think they should move on from Jackson Dart.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can go with you want to go with a non-quarterback. Ruben Bay Jr., Miami 500 is the first non-quarterback. Fernando Mendoza minus 155. Dante Moore, who's probably not even going to enter the draft, is plus 350. Ruben Bay Jr., Miami Hurricanes plus 500. Ty Simpson, no way in hell Ty Simpson's the number one pick in the NFL draft, plus 900. Arvell Reese, another defensive stud, he's 16-1. So, yeah, I mean, there is no, like you said, it's going to be Mendoza, guys. Some team will trade up, Scott, if it's not the Giants.
Yeah, I guess that would be a trade up.
And then it won't even be the Giants. Like, who's the worst team in the league? I mean,
that were
the team with the worst.
Tennessee just drafted a quarterback. With the Raiders? The Raiders are going to draft that guy?
The Raiders.
The Raiders
need to fire Pete Carroll. Hey, guys, they can't, they can't bring him back.
Yeah. I mean,
you can't bring Geno Smith back. Like, they're going to have to bite the bullet and eat that money for both of them. They're just going to have to say, listen, it was a mistake. You know, Geno, I guess he'll go somewhere else. Someone will pick Geno up.
Yeah. They're not eating too much with Geno. He got like a year and a half guaranteed. Like $30 million, I think it was guaranteed. So they'll eat, $10 million for next year. It's not the end of the world. I bet he gets a job, though, Geno. The way the quarterback situation is.
Yeah, exactly. He'll pop up. You know what? He'll end up in Pittsburgh, and they'll just be average.
I'm sure we were looking for a veteran to throw in Pittsburgh. There you go. Geno Smith comes to town.
Geno Smith. Yeah, Geno Smith. There you go.
So someone's got to give Jameis Winston a try, no? And just tell Jameis.
Yeah, it's a good point. No one wants to pay him.
Points. It's amazing.
So as it is right now, the Giants, you're right. The Giants have the number one pick, barely over the Raiders by percentage points.
Yeah. So... crazy. Sean, great job as always. Winnersandwhiners.com. Sean Diggs. Thanks, Sean.
Super Bowl MVP, multiple Super Bowl chances there, a Super Bowl championship as they got it. Nick Sirianni said on the radio, no chance that Jalen Hurts is going to be benched. But by the way, Jalen Hurts didn't play the last 3 games. I think the Eagles would be 3-0 in those games, though. Just saying, Joe.
Oh, wow. How the mighty have fallen. When the Eagles fans turn on their quarterback, it's getting ugly in Philly, folks.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
They're doing a new show about a Japanese interpreter.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're doing I don't know if it's a documentary or actors are in it.
I
think it's a drama.
It's a real show.
It's like a scripted show?
Yeah.
About a Japanese interpreter?
Yes.
I wonder who's getting paid for that.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why, though?
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing? And now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
It's usually a dead giveaway when all your wide receivers don't know what the play call is, that it's going to be a running play. And that's what happened with Pittsburgh on first down. They didn't score from the 2-yard line or so. Second down, they don't score. So now all of a sudden it's 3rd and goal for the Pittsburgh Steelers, trailing 3-0.
They finally score.
Did they get it on 3rd down? All right. Okay. Yeah, good job by the Dolphin defense. First rushing
Connor Hayward
up in 5 games. Ooh. Didn't have him on my bingo
First rushing touchdown of the year for Connor Hayward. Exactly. Who the hell had Connor Hayward as the first touchdown score? And this is classic. This is classic Miami, as we talked about. They played a great first half of football. They really did offensively, whatever. They only scored 3 points, but they really battled hard, and they end up getting scored on, and not even enough time to possibly come back in the half here. There's only 17 seconds left, so they go off the field, losing 7-3. The stadium is suddenly fired up again, and the Steelers are suddenly fired up. Classic Dolphins, Scott.
Yep. This is it. And I'll tell you, this is never going to happen, but this is one of those things that I would do, Gabe. I would not bring the Dolphins into the locker room. Not because they just gave up a touchdown, but if you want to buy into that cold weather mantra, as I do.
Oh, that's ridiculous. We're not playing pee-wee here. Like,
I'm just saying, you go into a locker room and it's nice and warm, and for 15 minutes, it's like, oh my God, I got to go back out
Scott,
there.
You know what they do at halftime? They're taking a leak, bro. There ain't no
I understand.
You go into the room, you go to the bathroom.
Heat.
It's like Peyton Manning said at halftime. He said people think there's some big talk and like big adjustments and stuff. He said players go into the room, take a leak, eat an orange, and halftime is over, and you walk back out onto the field. They got to go to the bathroom, Scott. They're not standing there like kids to prove that they're not cold.
Get some porta potties. Get some porta potties. Let them pee outside. You want oranges? Here's a tray full of oranges. I'm telling you. Did they get the ball first to start the second half?
The weather isn't an issue.
Pittsburgh.
Their offense is the issue. No. They gotta finish these drives, right? Dink and Duncan is cute, but it doesn't do anything. You got to put points up on the board. They're not getting the ball to H-Chan enough, and
I know. Yeah. Give it to him. He's averaging 6 yards a carry, Gabe. He's got 42 yards and 7 carries, and it's not like he's got a 30-yard run. He's got a 15-yarder, but he's legitimately getting 3, 4, 5, 6 yards a carry. Give it to him, for goodness sakes.
Well, this is our opportunity, though, for all these low props that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you look at the Miami Dolphin receivers, Jalen Waddle has 1 catch, Scott, for 10 yards. Julian Hill, 1 catch, 20 yards. H-N, 2 catches, 23 yards. So H-N has racked up 65 yards. Think about that. H-Chan's racked up 65 yards on 9 touches only. Like, get him the ball more. Like, in the second half, just, like, run him into the ground, Scott. The guy should be touching the ball 25, 30 times. He's only touched the ball 9 times.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to, but everyone wants to call, McDaniel an offensive genius and this and that, right? I'll give you
they've only thrown it 8. They've only thrown the ball 8 times. I mean, he's 2 of 8. I think Scott is just, what's the time of possession? They haven't really had the ball. Like, you know what I mean? They've had the ball for 11 minutes. 11 minutes.
Yeah, 17 and a half.
11:55 to 17:48 right now. Like, how many plays did they run compared to Pittsburgh? Like, guys, think about this. Yeah. The Dolphins only ran 19 total plays in the first half. It's hard to win when you only run 19 plays. Pittsburgh have run 31 plays.
Yeah. Like, here's a good example game, right? If I told you before Colts and Seagirls yesterday, what do you think the Colts, ideal thing would be to get Jonathan Taylor the ball, right? We don't want Phillip Rivers throwing 35, 40 times, right? So the Seagirls know that as well. And they gave the ball to Jonathan Taylor 25 times. Now, he only got 87 yards, which is not a great ratio, but they did what they needed to do, and they were in a position to win the game. If the defense stops the Seattle on the last drive, they actually win the game. Whereas, same thing here tonight with the Dolphins. Tui's not going to throw the ball 30, 40 yards down the field, so you get H-Chan the ball. And yet, one head coach, Indianapolis, does what they need to do, and the other head coach, the offensive genius, is ignoring basically their best offensive player.
He's not ignoring him, Scott. He's got the ball 50% of their offensive snaps.
Make it 7.
Essentially,
I
like
don't run them more.
They've run 19 plays, and he's gotten the ball like 8-9 times. He just got the ball again here right now, which is nice just to sort of pad some stats here right on the way out. Doesn't do anything. See, that's kind of a weird play there. They just ran the ball. They'll take the extra 5-6 yards.
Yeah, that's Tua not being able to throw the ball deep. Right? Tom Vecchio coming up next.
Yeah.
Super Bowl MVP, multiple Super Bowl chances there, Super Bowl championship as they got it. Nick Sirianni said on the radio, no chance that Jalen Hurts is going to be benched. But by the way, Jalen Hurts didn't play the last 3 games. I think the Eagles would be 3-0 in those games, though. Just saying, Joe.
Oh, wow. How the mighty have fallen. When the Eagles fans turn on their quarterback, it's getting ugly in Philly, folks.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
They're doing a new show about a Japanese interpreter.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're doing like I don't know if it's a documentary or like actors are in it.
It's got
I think it's a drama.
It's a real show.
It's like a scripted show?
Yeah.
About a Japanese interpreter?
Yes.
I wonder who's getting paid for that.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why, though?
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing and now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe reach halftime. I hit one of my props, although I could lose it if he makes a reception for minus yards. But Darnell Washington, 2 receptions for 23 yards. So it was 22 and a half. I figured he'd be getting involved a little bit with the offense. So let's see if we can find some more winners second half with our good buddy Tom Vecchio, Sports Grid host. You're seeing here all the time here on the grid. What's going on, Tom? How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Already have 1 ticket to the window with Kenny Gainwell over 22.5 receiving yards. So got that one through, waiting on one more with Achane over 16.5 attempts. I'm also on the Dolphins plus 3.5. So, things aren't terrible right now. Like, I got one to the window. The Dolphins are still within arm's reach. And I think the Dolphins are going to continue to try and run the ball.
Looking at the Dolphins, you're right. And the passing yard prop for Tua right now, 163.5. He's at 61 right now. Normally it would be like, okay, we've got to hammer this. Like we smashed J.J. McCarthy's passing props last night to a successful, with success. But I don't know, Tom. Like, I guess Achane could pop a little screenplay here and there. They've, you want to get the ball to him more, but they only ran like 20 plays, and he got the ball 10 times. So he got the ball 50% of the time. I imagine it'll be even like heavier in the second half. They won't hold back with him. But I don't have confidence in the yards with these receivers because Tua can't throw the ball down the field. So everything's got to be quick. So I look at receptions here. Achane's got 2. The prop is 4.5 right now, but it's plus 145 to the over. Waddle has 1 catch only. His prop is 3.5, and Julian Hill, 1 catch. His prop, 1.5 right now, plus 190 to the over. I'm going to bet that just out of principle. But what are your thoughts on the Dolphins receiving props.
Yeah, it's just more Achane, right? To me, the offense should be Achane, like, I don't want to say 1 and then Waddle 2. It should really be like a 1A, 1B scenario, at least in my mind. But that's the player they need to be going to now. Ollie Gordon, he got a little bit banged up, right? Or was it Jalen Wright? One of them, I forget which one of them got banged up on that play where it came off limping on that third down play. But if one of their backups is out, it should be even more Achane. So I don't mind him in the passing game. I see him at 34.5 receiving yards. He's got 23. That's one catch for him. He should be able to get the yards.
Yeah.
He should be able to get the receptions. And frankly, this game's within control for the Dolphins. Like, this is still a neutral game script. They don't need to be going full passing at this point.
I like the play. I like the Achane play. I'm already in on him, Tom, at over 111 and a half combined yards tonight. But I like this. You know, he's definitely going to catch a couple of passes. Look, guys, it's 4.5, right? His prop. They're expecting 2-3 catches. The computer's setting at 2-3 catches. You're telling me he's not going to pick up 11 or 12 yards on 2-3 catches? He will.
You should.
FanDuel's kind of weird.
Yeah, let's hope.
You know, you kind of pick your poison. FanDuel, it's either 4 receptions for minus 180 or 5 receptions for plus 172.
It's a big
4.5.
Right.
Got to go with the plus money on that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't wait in game. You know, if I had a pregame position and you could have given me 4 plus at, you know, minus 150 pregame, sure. But in game, I would only shoot for the plus money just to eliminate the variance, and then whatever happens. But at least you're just shooting for the plus money.
All right. They kept things pretty even passing and rushing. Do the Dolphins, Tom, in your view, say, all right, we're trailing 7-3, but let's still do what we're doing because it's a competitive game and we're not getting blown out? Or do they say, listen, we got 3 points. We got to change things up. We got to throw the ball. We got to run the ball. We got to, change our philosophy.
I would say they're moving the ball effectively on the ground. They showed the graphic, whatever, it's 5.1 yards per rush, at least whatever it was at that time. Like, they're moving effectively on the ground. I would not abandon that. I think that turning to a 70-30 pass run is a mistake for the Dolphins. Their defense is playing great. They're within 1 score. And you've limited the mistakes outside of the Tua interception, which was just a bad throw, like fading away to the outside. So outside of that, the Dolphins have played pretty well. Why not continue to do the thing that's working, and that is HM picking up 5, 6, 7 yards per every time he touches the ball per rush?
What about the Steelers? Freiermuth, 0 catches, guys. His prop is 0.5 right now. Does he catch a ball in the second half? I always like when a guy just needs 1 catch, but it's not like Pittsburgh are lighting it up either right now with their numbers and their props. I brought up how DK Metcalf is not what like the hype was, and not like they don't really have a number 1 wide receiver in my opinion, Pittsburgh. And look, Metcalf's got 1 catch. His prop is 3.5. Under 3.5 is minus 190, but I don't think he's going to catch 3 more balls, Tom, personally.
I really don't either, and especially with like the duo in the backfield that I'm concerned about. Like I've always liked Kenny Gainwell, and the fact that Warren is playing is at least being effective. He came into the game listed as questionable due to the illness. As long as they move the ball effectively, DK's not giving me a spot where he needs to have 5, 6 catches. He could have 2 more, sure.
Yeah, he might get a play here or there, yeah.
Right, but to see them mixing Adam Thielen, to see them get, Warren continue work out of the backfield and Kenny Gainwell, there's a spot that DK just ends with 3 catches. Maybe he gets over his yards. His live yardage total is what? 43. He could very easily get to 50 yards on 2 more catches, but not go over the 3.5.
They just don't throw the ball, guys. Yeah, they just don't throw the ball to the wide receivers.
It's also not deep.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they tell Metcalf, I guess, here, you go deep, you clear it all out, and then we're going to throw underneath. They got 5,000 tight ends. They're throwing the ball to Gainwell. I mean, wide receivers have caught Metcalf, the 1 reception, right? Thielen, 2 receptions. The other 11 receptions have either been to a running back or one of their tight ends. So, I don't know if that changes it.
And to your point, is like, the Steelers just need a win, right? So, like, we would like to see them get the ball to DK just because, like, he is or should be their best receiver, but they just need to win the game. So if that's not working and he's running his semi-decoy route to your to your point, Scott, and just like everyone else is doing the work, well, then they just do that because they just need to win the game.
Yeah. Well, they can't run either. 15 carries for 27 yards. Gabe had mentioned that earlier. It's true. They don't run the ball effectively.
I know the Dolphins have had an easy run of these recent games, and they show the stats during the broadcast.
Yeah, 5 straight games. Yeah,
right.
No touchdowns.
They haven't played the toughest opponents. I understand that, but they still look pretty good.
No, their defense has been balling and swarming tonight. Look, guys, even on the touchdown that they scored, it took the Steelers like 3-4 cracks at it.
Yep.
Right to like they stopped them on the goal line, but classic Miami though, Tom, very hockey-like a team that plays their ass off in the first period, and somehow they go into the room losing 2-1 because the other team scored with 2 seconds left. Right,
I mean, that
and
happens,
it's like Pittsburgh kind of stole the momentum with that touchdown. This opening drive is massive for Miami just to sort of get back in this thing.
Right. So Miami started the game with the ball, so them getting a stop for the Steelers and forcing the 3-and-out, and then getting at least a field goal out of their first second half possession, that's got to be where it is. Because if they don't get that, I don't know where we're going to go with the spread at that point. Like, we're sitting at 5.5.
You don't want to fall behind 14-3 here. Like, their offense is not made for this.
No, even 10-3 might be a little bit much for that.
Let's hope not.
That's pretty sad to say, right? Your dad a touchdown.
Well, 2 was 5 of 8. It's almost like Army's guy. Army, Navy. Like, at some point, the QB's got to make some plays, right?
Did you see his passing attempts? His passing attempts was 29.5. Which was super high. If you look back at his recent game log of pass attempts, 20, 21, 23, and 21. Or 20, 20, 21, 23. So his line was 29.5, but they've been running the ball so effectively. Over the last 3 games, their pass play percentage has dropped to 40%, which is the lowest in the league over the last 3 weeks. They're not passing the ball. They want to run it.
Scott, they can't use Achane more than 60%. Scott's taking the ball. Tom, you follow like plays per half, like 20 plays and a half is pretty unusual. Like that's not a lot of plays that they ran in the first half.
We'll talk more with Tom when we come back and get live. Game Day continues here on the Grid.
Super Bowl MVP, multiple Super Bowl chances there, Super Bowl championship as they got it. Nick Sirianni said on the radio, no chance that Jalen Hurts is going to be benched. But by the way, Jalen Hurts didn't play the last 3 games. I think the Eagles would be 3-0 in those games, though. Just saying, Joe.
Oh, wow. How the mighty have fallen. When the Eagles fans turn on their quarterback, it's getting ugly in Philly, folks.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They're doing a new show about a Japanese interpreter.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're doing like I don't know if it's a documentary or like actors are in it.
It's got to.
I think it's a drama.
It's a real show.
It's like a scripted show.
Yeah.
About a Japanese interpreter.
Yes.
I wonder who's getting paid for that.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing and now he was number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Waiting for the second half to get underway. Pittsburgh will get the ball first. We're talking with Tom Vecchio, SportsGrid host here on the grid. So we were just talking in the break there, guys, about the Kansas City Chiefs situation with Mahomes apparently having surgery already today. So here's my question. You know, do you wait for him to come back? Can you win with Gardner Minshew? I don't know if Gardner's on a 2-year or 1-year contract, but he's the backup quarterback. Could you go into next year thinking, all right, Gardner, you play 10, 12 games, get us to, we'll say 6-6, and then you come in for the final month of the season? Is that a viable option, you think, for Kansas City?
I really don't. And, and it also depends on, and I would say only depends on, when Mahomes is going to be ready to play. If he's ready week 1, that's a different story. Like, he's having surgery, 24 hours after it happened. We're talking about 9-10 month recovery process. Like, it's kind of pushing it. Do you want to push Mahomes, your star quarterback, to be ready for week 1? If he's not ready for week 1, and we know that in August, they're not going to be booked as favorites. They're going to be third in their division. The Chargers and the Broncos are going to be going to the playoffs, right? The Raiders, we don't have to worry about them. We're going to have 2 teams in your division that are going to be going to the playoffs. You expect the Ravens to be better next year than they were this year. X team is going to be the Colts aren't going to be as good next year as they are this year, et cetera, et cetera. So, if you start off 6-6, the season's already done. You've already lost your playoff.
It's almost a blessing, right? And not a blessing, but it resets it. Like you said, my deal, Tom, is you got to wonder about Andy Reid. Is Andy Reid like
Travis Kelce?
Kelsey's got to be done, right? He's getting married this year, so this is it for Kelsey. I think it's almost better for Mahomes. Reset the motivation. We just talked to Tom Brady, guys, had the same surgery in his 9th year. Yeah. And Brady had won 3 Super Bowls at that time in his career. You know that Brady has called and told him that, and that Mahomes knows, all right, there's sort of, the BCADs type stuff here. You know what I mean? Like, there's like the second leg, but they're going to have to totally retool. Like, Tom, like get better draft picks. They were always drafting late in the first round. And my question is, they're going to have to figure out who the next coach of that football team is going to be. Because Andy Reid and Spagnuolo are both not young. Like, they need to start thinking about, like, the transition for real right now.
It really is. And this is going to be the best draft pick they've had in 10 years. Like, realistically, 10 years to me in the middle of the first round. And
last time they had a 12th pick, they took Mahomes. We gave it to them with the Bills. Right. They've done pretty well with it. Yeah.
I think they should draft if we know Mahomes is not going to be ready in September or October, draft these offensive linemen and draft another skilled wide receiver. You reset and free up cap space.
Let the old lineman practice with another scrub quarterback next year. Right. Now they're nice and tested when you come back.
You have free agents, you have draft picks, you have a reset. And maybe this is something that Andy Reid reinvigorates him. To your point, like, he could be on his way out, but also this is like, hey, we have to learn how to win. We have to learn to be a team without Mahomes, and that may actually improve some of the players. It may improve Rice. It may improve Worthy because they have to step up, and Mahomes can't be bailing them out all the time, and they have to learn how to be better route runners because they're dealing with a backup quarterback.
Well, who's the backup quarterback? I looked it up. Minshew's on a 1-year contract, but I would think they would bring him back since he, has been with the team for a year.
He's been a starter before. There's at least some level of professionalism there. Yeah,
it's not the worst thing in the world. The big difference between
I don't think the owner cares. That's another thing. Sorry, Scott. I was going to say, I don't think, though, it's another thing. It's always important. I think that the Hunts already got what they wanted out of this. Now they're going to get a new stadium. I don't know if they really care about going on some big second run after, personally. I'm just saying. I think, I don't see it.
29, 30 years old is Mahomes.
That sounds right.
I mean, he's got 4, 5, 6 good years left, right? You got.
That's what I'm saying. Is like you don't want to rush him back. The way I'm viewing it is like you don't want to rush him back now because if you just push it back 1 year, then you could have 2027. Like you have 5 really good years from him left still. Like, you don't want to be like, hey, was he good this year? It's like he's still working his way back. And then like, oh, he's getting hit. You're worried about that. It's like if you just punt next year, which is it's a tough thing to say. If you just punt all of 2026, 2027, you can actually hit the ground running. And then that's the best shape you'll be in.
It's a legitimate question, though. Will Mahomes ever win another Super Bowl? Andy Reid won't. Andy Reid won't. Like I said, Reid's going to retire soon. Like, I got to
have
wonder
a touchdown in this game, though. We did just see a touchdown.
God, right away.
19-yard touchdown to MVS, from Rodgers to MVS. It was set up by a 38-yard run by Kenny Gainwell.
And just like that, the Dolphins are in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a Raptor game, so that quickly. Just so that's what I'm saying. Dolphins play 195 for the record for the Raptors with 128 left. They were up by like 13, and Miami are chipping away here right now. But that's just so classic Dolphins. You're the Dolphin fan, Scott. They played so well. They haven't done anything poorly, like, besides, not the offense, et cetera, not scoring. And suddenly they're down 14-3. And it's not like cold weather. Like, it's just ineffectiveness. Like, Tua sucks. Let's just call it out for what it is.
Yeah.
They got to move on from Tua.
He's lucky he has the excuse about the cold weather. Otherwise, people would just say that. Oh, he sucks. But at least now he's got, in cold weather. No, in real weather, any weather. You pick it. They're 2-15. That's all you need to say. Like, the numbers don't lie with this team, Gabe. They are the easiest team to bet. They beat the bad teams. He's got a phenomenal record against bad teams, guys, and he's got a lousy record against good teams, especially on the road. In his career, he's beaten. Think about this. This guy's been in the league, 5 years? He's beaten 2 winning teams on the road. 2-15. Hey, you can't make that stuff up.
It tells you enough. I will say the under is looking like the play to be on today. It's just really that simple. Whether or not the Dolphins score
34.5 now.
Right.
Pittsburgh are going to go to a shell now, Tom. They're just going to hand the ball off moving forward.
It comes into play about the yardage props for the Steelers side of things.
Right. Yeah. And if you're ever going to play to a passing, this is it, right? You're down 2 scores, albeit early third quarter.
Yeah.
100 yards.
I think it's Achan because they can't throw it down the field. Maybe a couple of quick hits to Waddle, but this is where they just got to dump it off to Achan and hope he pops like a 60-yarder. I just can't believe after all this they're down 11. It's just, you can't make this up. I guess you can.
No, I can. Yeah. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Super Bowl MVP, multiple Super Bowl chances there, Super Bowl championship as they got it. Nick Sirianni said on the radio, no chance that Jalen Hurts is going to be benched. But by the way, Jalen Hurts didn't play the last 3 games. I think the Eagles would be 3-0 in those games, though. Just saying, Joe.
Oh, wow. How the mighty have fallen when the Eagles fans turn on their quarterback. It's getting ugly in Philly, folks.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They're doing a new show about a Japanese interpreter.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're doing I don't know if it's a documentary or actors are in it.
It's got to.
I think it's a drama.
It's a real show.
It's like a scripted show?
Yeah.
About a Japanese interpreter?
Yes.
I wonder who's getting paid for that.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those 2. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing? And now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. So, moment of truth, really, for the Dolphins. And you don't say that too often in the third quarter, opening minutes of the third quarter. But Pittsburgh took the ball, 6 plays. They go the distance, get a touchdown, 19-yard touchdown pass. Aaron Rodgers to Valdez-Scantling. So, set up by a 38-yard run by Gainwell. And it's 14-3. You know, a 2-score game, no big deal, 10.5 minutes left. But just... you know, you got to show a little something. You got to put a couple of first downs here together. Even if you don't score, Gabe, you got to get a couple of first downs rather than punt the ball 3 and out and get Pittsburgh in good field position and maybe ball game.
Oh, this is massive.
Let's see what the Dolphins do. Yeah.
You know, Aaron Rodgers is 14 of 15. It doesn't feel like it. Like,
I know.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, if you combine even Tua's, like, completion numbers, and there's Tua running backwards. Like, the guy's just terrible. This is, you know, and I said it before the game, I like the Dolphins. You know, I like the way that they're playing. But my big concern is Tua, right? I said the only one I'm worried about is Tua, really. Like, I think everybody else will be fine. Like, look at this play. It's like, okay, but like, okay, maybe nobody's open, but he runs right into the traffic. Like, instead of running away from the traffic, he runs right into the Steelers, ends up getting lit up, losing a bunch of yards. Like, he's just clueless. He has no, like, feeling for the game. He has no feeling for the game.
This is not, you know, and I've never been a Tua fan. I'll admit that. Because I always thought he was small and I always thought he was susceptible to injuries. But he was never this bad, Gabe. Like, his first couple of years,
No, you're right. Yeah, no. He's like, he is visibly regressed. Like, visibly regressing.
He looks like an old man.
You can't have confidence going into next year. Like, it'll just be another wasted year. You can't have him as the quarterback next year.
Yeah. I mean, it's just...
I think if there's anything, if you're the Dolphins, Scott, like, so, you know, some want McDaniel out, but I think if anything here, like, maybe if they're real with themselves, they realize, all right, like, Tua's a problem. Like, we've really got to move on from him. No matter what it costs or what we eat or whatnot. Hell, if we get a rookie in here, whatever, we got to get a new quarterback. They need a new quarterback. Yeah. This is like Zach Wilson bad. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's low, like, lowest, like, worst quarterback in the league bad, Scott, type thing right now. I mean, this is bad. Just, God, man. Like, it's a miracle they're able to win any game. So, with this guy as a quarterback. But we do have a massive potential money line upset in the making right now in college basketball. Incarnate Word, we're like 21.5-point underdogs. TCU, we're 50-1 favorites. Minus 5,000 was 50-1. So $50 to win $1 on the money line. It's 65-62 right now for TCU with 2.5 minutes left. They were just only up by 1. Like, it's pretty crazy. They were losing at the half. Yeah, the 21-point favorite, Scott. 50-1 on the money line, and they're only up by 3 right now.
And they're still 25-1. I mean, if you wanted to put a flyer on a 9-1 underdog, down only 3.
Yeah, they hit a 3 and we're tied again. Like Incarnate Word, yeah. Like,
I mean,
pretty
it's a
wild.
Game with 2 minutes left. You want to give me 9-1 at this point? You know, so maybe once a book gets on a number, like, they just won't give up the fact that they're supposed to win this basketball game. 2:17 left. All right, that's not bad. That would be obviously a huge upset. I didn't do anything in college basketball tonight. Nothing really jumped off the page. Put a couple of hockey plays in. Did take Dallas at home. I thought that was a pretty low number. It's the same thing. It's 1-1 against the LA Kings. Game minus 130. Kings are hanging around, but the Dallas have been playing great. They're at home. I thought that was a halfway decent number. Played the over Nashville St. Louis. It's 4-1. Nashville entering the third period. 2 struggling franchises. And then Winnipeg's actually leading Ottawa 2-1 as they have 3.5 minutes left to go in the third. So
the total's down to 3.5. For those that like the quick rush, the quick bet right now, it is minus 200, but you got either Ottawa ties it, empty net goal potential here. And, you know, even if we wait a minute or 30 seconds, this thing will probably come down a little bit. And it, boom, right on cue. 185 now. 185. My phone is charging. My battery died. Let me see. I got to get this thing on here. I would jump in on this. I think there'll be a goal. I think Winnipeg will get an empty netter here.
Yeah. And then generally, I noticed, you know, when it's low scoring, these teams, you know, generally pull the goalie just a little bit sooner, just because it's not, you know, they haven't scored. They scored 1 goal in you know, 57 minutes. Whether it's if it's 6-5,
They just pulled the goalie right now. And I didn't get in on time. They locked it. They just pulled the goalie, which is kind of quick. In the modern era, though, like the coaches pull the goalie sooner than they used to.
Yeah. Another 100 for the Rangers home game. Great. More coming up in Game Live.